You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rutrance for Black and White Sports. Well, we got some more information regarding the potential conditions that Brittney Griner is going to be running into as she heads towards, or maybe has arrived at, a maximum security penal colony in Russia. Again, parts unknown. I hadn't heard parts unknown since I was a kid, and we were talking about wrestling. Anybody remember the missing link? Okay, well, we got Brittney Griner, a WNBA basketball player that, of course, was tried, convicted on vape cartridges containing cannabis oil, something that in Russia is considered very, very heinous. Okay, they consider it something akin to murder and an insult to actual Russia as a country itself. Well, let's get to this because, man, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for Griner. I described it the other day in a thumbnail as she's being sent to hell. These are details that's come out from the father of Trevor Reed, who was the Marine that has come back to the United States after a prisoner swap for a Russian scumbag. So this is Breitbart. Quote, "You're starved just by the food. Grim conditions await Brittney Griner at Russian Penal Colony. News of WNBA star Brittney Griner's drug smuggling conviction and 9.5-year prison sentence was followed last week by news that she had been transferred from her Moscow holding prison to a Russian penal colony. Now, grim details emerge about the barbaric conditions that await the superstar upon her arrival. According to Jody Reed, father of Trevor Rowdy Reed, a former U.S. Marine who was arrested for allegedly assaulting 2 Moscow police officers, rotten food, brutal wardens, and extreme weather await Griner in her penal colony. Similar to Griner, Reed's son spent time in a Moscow detention center after being arrested in August 2019. After receiving a 9-year sentence, the former Marine was transferred to a penal colony in Moldova, 300 miles away. Once there, things became even worse. Quote, "You got to understand the labor camps in Moldova. These are pre-Stalin era prisons. These were literally referred to as gulags," Jody Reed told the New York Post. And even though there's a federal authority for prisons, each warden has wide leeway to do whatever they want until it makes someone angry or leads to bad press. Trevor Reed would end up serving 9 months of his sentence before being swapped for Konstantin Yurishenko, a Russian pilot convicted of conspiring to transport more than $100 million of cocaine into New York. Quote, to a certain extent, you're just starved just by the food that they give you, Joey Reed explained. He didn't show any public photos of my son for about a month and a half because of how he looked like a concentration camp victim. I remember when Trevor Reed got back, okay, and just a couple of photos came out, and he was extremely skinny. Extremely. He has since put the weight back on. But, man, he was really, really thin. Really thin. It is not known yet which penal colony Griner will be assigned to. This just goes over why she's in there. And we all know that story about the vape cartridges and the cannabis oil. It is not known which penal colony Griner will be assigned to, nor is it known whether the colony's location will be made public. The Biden administration has tried and failed to win Griner's release. Months ago, it appeared there was traction to do a prisoner swap that would have sent Griner back home in exchange for notorious Russian arms dealer Victor. They've got Victor Orban. It's Victor Bout, However, talks of such an exchange have seemed to cooled. And we have, of course, something we've talked about. Those talks haven't gone anywhere. I mean, Russia has essentially not even acknowledged the talks. I did a video on the other sports channel yesterday. CIA Director Bill Burns is over there right now, or actually he's in Turkey, but he's talking to Russia's version of their CIA director. One of the subjects is Brittney Griner and trying to get her out of there. She's headed towards a rough go of it. You know, let's just say she's in there for 6 months. Even 6 months, okay? We found out about the lack of toilets, how many women could be in one of these maximum security prisons, the kind of potential labor they may have to do. Now we're finding out that the food is rotten and that the wardens could be, flash to any movie ever that's ever had a bad warden. We've seen those films. We know how that goes. And then, of course, there was speculation that the fact that she's gay, black, and an American could also end up being tough on her, particularly the gay part, because in Russia, it's illegal to be involved in any kind of same-sex preferences. WNBA, Brittney Griner is in a bind. Again, we have no idea where she's at. When we learn it, we'll do a video. We don't know what's going on. And, there's been no movement on this. No movement. The only movement has been Brittney Griner going to a penal colony. You know, she lost her appeal, so that's it. That's a wrap. You're off to Never Land at that point. Like the worst version of it. Some Stranger Things version. Yikes. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.